like clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual.
What is going on, guys? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now today's video, it's going to be another fan submission because you guys were wondering a ton in the last video. So many people were asking me where the best spots to land, not only for pubs like for winning, but as well as scrims. So I'm going to be going over a couple today. If you have any like that you like to land, let me know down in the comments below and help other people out, because this is all about helping each other out and finding good places. And yeah, if you're ready for this, make sure you slap a like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you use creator code WraithFN in the item shop. Would mean so much to me. And let's get right into today's video. The first place we're going to be talking about today is the John Wick's house outside of Paradise Palms. And this was added in season 9, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably never even landed there, and if you have, you kind of realize that it's a good kind of isolated spot. And also there's a ton of chest and floor loot spawns, as well as if you actually stay there long enough and mat up, then you can get max metal, max brick, as well as max wood. Now, in the pro scene and in the World Cup, I've been looking at replays just to make sure none of these spots are actually taking that much and not many people go there. And honestly, out of like 10 games, I think 3 of them, no one went here, 3 of them, one person went here, and then 3 of them, like 1 to 2 people went here, and then the last one, I think 2 people went here. So normally there aren't that many people that come here, so it's kind of an isolated spot. And I'm just kind of giving you guys a tour right now. There's obviously a ton of chests. I think there's like 5 or 6, and I'll get to it at the end of this clip, but there's also really good surrounding places you can go that no one definitely went, and that you can loot up even more. And the best part about this is there's a little spot in the basement where, just like in the movie, he has kind of a little chest spawn, and you can get 3 chests easily, which almost guarantees you some kind of shield or somewhat of a good weapon. And yeah, like I said, there's tons of little rooms like this with floor loot spawns that you can get guns, you can get launch pads, whatever you want, right? There's also brick, for example, as well as trees that you can get the wood from. And there's also the best part, I think, is their guaranteed shield, because for somehow, if you didn't get minis or a big pot, you can just break down these trees and they will give you the coconuts, which give you shield. Sure, you're not going to get 100 shield if you don't get any luck, but that's just kind of RNG. There's not too much you can do about that, because there are tons of chests and tons of floor loot spawn. You're almost guaranteed some form of shield, but if not, you have the coconuts. And then, like I was talking about, this is a kind of a place you can rotate, where there's a couple chest spawns as well as ATKs that you can go to use rotate, as well as hoverboards. I don't think hoverboards are even there in the real game, but whatever, if there is, there is, and if not, there's the ATKs, as well as there's a couple spots like up there's 2 chest spawns you can go and grab as well. Like I said, the ATK to rotate if you know how to quad fly. If not, you can just drive it normally. And normally you can loot this place quick up enough that you can just walk if you really choose to, but again, it's your kind of choice. And then there's also the junk junction 2. Well, you can actually rotate there as well as a rotation, as well as there's junk junction 2 to go loot if no one goes there and it's in storm or in zone. Coming into our second spot, this is another unknown place, and I don't really know what to call it. I guess you can just call it like RV camp or RV yard, I think a lot of people call it. And this is a place that I actually first started landing in the solo World Cup, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good spot. And again, only 1 person normally comes here. The odd time you'll see 2 people, but a lot of the time it'll be 0 or 1 person will come here. And obviously it's hard to get somewhere that 0 people are going to go every single time. But I think there's 4 chest spawns, maybe even 5, as well as there's a ton of floor loot spawns. And the best part about this is there's obviously a ton of metal and wood here. Not too much brick, but you can always travel to the mansion in Lonely Lodge or even in Megamall and get some brick there. And yeah, this is honestly a really good place. Like I said, I started landing here, and I normally almost always come out with a decent loadout as well as a little bit of shield. Now, obviously, if you don't get that good loot here and you get zone, you can just rotate to Lonely, or you can rotate kind of anywhere that kind of is close, because a lot of this side of the map, not many people land, so you can kind of rotate wherever. And there's a nice kind of little place up here with 2 chest spawns, as well as, I don't mention this video, but there's also a little like building, like I don't know exactly what to call it, that you can go loot another chest. But yeah, like I said, there's also balls right up there for rotation if you want to land there, then come. And like I said before, there's tons of places you can rotate, like all of those. The next spot we're going to look over is all of these little like things in the air. I don't know exactly what you'd call them, the hover, whatever. And I'm going to point to all of them. I probably will miss one here or there, but they're basically all around the map and they're all similar. So this isn't just the one outside of the volcano, but this is kind of, it's basically like you can land on any single one of them. And the nice thing is there's a good amount of loot, but the nice part is rotation. So for example, you can land up top, get a chest spawn right away, and then there's always 1 or 2 loot spawns right beside it, like for example right there. Obviously I wish the pump was still in the game, not going to get into that. And then there's another floor spawn right here, and you can break through, go to the bottom, and obviously there's 500 metal here, which is really nice, and you can rotate and get mats. And then there's 2 chest spawns that normally spawn underneath, which is nice. And then obviously, like every single one of these places, there isn't going to be that much loot, but the nice thing about this is you can rotate wherever you want, since you have that little glider, redeploy, or whatever you want to call it. And basically there's a ton of places you can go. Obviously for this one right here, you can mine a bunch of wood down at Lonely, probably no one's gone there, or you can mine brick at Sunny, or wherever it is, right? You can go to Pressure Plant, you can rotate to Lonely, whatever you want to do, right? There's tons of places you can rotate. And then for the one, for example, down here, you can go all the way to the bridge, you can go to Racetrack. For the one over here, you can go to those 2 little houses, or the Forks and Knives. Tons of places you can rotate, and it's just super convenient. Now this one's probably going to surprise a lot of you guys, but Megamall. Now a lot of you guys are probably like, okay, well, isn't this one of the main attractions? Like, isn't a ton of people going to go here? And partially you're right, partially you're wrong. I find whenever the bus is like coming from Lonely, or like going right over Mega right away, it's a bad idea to drop here unless you're going for kills, because a ton of people will drop. But if the bus is on the opposite side of the map, for some reason, only like 1 to 2 people come here, and I'm talking about the entire Megamall as well as the houses. Like, there's not that often more than 3 people come here. Obviously you'll have the odd 3 people, odd 4 people, but most of the time it's 1 to 2, and sometimes it's even 0. Like, out of those 10 games, there's probably 3 times that it was under 1 person, right? So it's actually, obviously, I'm sure you guys know, but it's one of the biggest spots in the entire game. Tons of chests, tons of floor loot spots. Like, you can literally loot this place the entire game and still not finish looting it. There's obviously max mats everywhere you go. There's metal, brick, wood, everything you go. Tons of spawns, tons of loot, like I said. You just got to be aware of where the bus is, and obviously you got to be aware of where people are landing. And for example, if there's 2 people landing Megamall, you can always land at these houses, which haven't changed that much since the update, or before the update, I guess you could say. And yeah, like I said, if people land Megamall, you can land houses. If people land houses, you can land Megamall. It kind of works out both ways. But even the houses are a pretty good place to land, I guess you could say. Like, I used to land here when just playing pubs or playing like solo squads, and there's tons of loot inside each of these houses. Like, I'm pretty sure each house has at least 2 chests, as well as like 3 or 4 loot spawns. So for example, right there, like, you get a loot spawn and then you drop down, get a couple chests, get some shield, whatever the purpose is, right? But yeah, Megamall is kind of a hit or miss. Like, there can be a lot of people that go there, but most of the time I find if the bus is far away from it, there aren't that many people that end up going here. As well as, like I said, you get max mats, get some good chests, whatever it is. You can hit this house, you can hit Dog House, you can hit the actual Megamall, whatever you choose, as well as there's a slipstream to rotate away from it. The last spot on the list today is going to be the loot lake houses, as well as the middle. And for some reason it's not letting me zoom in here. Epic, great job with the map filters, I guess you could say. But this is a really good place, and by the way, I recommend if you're playing EU duos and you're landing here, probably not a good idea, because that's where Mongrel and Micho come in. If you're down to fight them, hey, that's up to you. But there's a ton of chest spawns as well as loot. As you can see, you can mine max metal almost in just 1 house if you choose to, as well as some wood, as well as some brick. And like every single place on this list, there's a good amount of loot, as like floor loot, as well as chest spawns. And not only can you just loot this place really quickly, but as well, once you loot this one place or the one building, there's 2 other buildings you can loot that I'll kind of give a tour of. And basically, yeah, it's really good. You can get tons of loot, tons of mats. Normally there's around 1 to 2 people, I'd say, come here. Kind of depends again where the bus is, whatever, right? I find a lot of the time there'll be 1 person that goes to the middle of loot lake, and then 1 or 2 people that come to these little small buildings. And I'll go over to the big loot, like the middle of loot lake, right after you kind of go around this. But yeah, there's a tons of spots basically around Loot Lake that you can go to. Like I said, if some people go houses, kind of like retail, some people go houses, you go the middle Loot Lake. If people go middle Loot Lake, go to the houses, right? Kind of what I find, go opposite of where other people are, because it gives you the best chance at getting good loot before you actually fight people, because obviously you don't want to be fighting people if they have, I don't know, a pump and a combat shotgun and 100 shield when you have an SMG, and that's about it, right? So then this is the middle of the loot lake, where again, first off the bat, there's a loot spawn as well as a chest spawn. And then if you come to the other side, this place is even better, where 2 chests right away right there, you can open it up, maybe get something good, as well as a lot of mats like this: brick, metal, and wood. And then if you come over to the side more, there's a chest spawn right here, as well as in the back of the truck. And yeah, tons of chest spawns in the middle loot lake. You just got to be aware, because it is kind of an open area, so a lot of people can shoot at you. And if you even have enough time, you can come to these little places. I don't even know what they're called, like kind of army camps, I guess you could call it. And there's 2 chest spawns on this one with, I think, 3 floor loot, as well as 1 chest spawn on the other one. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you smash the like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you use creator code WraithFN in the item shop. Just supports me so much, and I appreciate it. And I hope you guys all have a good day. See you guys.